Okay, so the very first thing you're gonna do is you have your really big piece of paper and you have your 7 white strips. You're gonna set the white strips to the side for now and just take your paper and fold it in half. I would say hamburger style. And so that I have the folded side on this side, and then on the left side is where it opens. So it should open on this side, the creased side is over here. Okay, you're gonna get your ruler and you're gonna line up this side of the ruler with the edge of your paper. And then take your pencil and draw a line on the opposite side of the ruler so that when you take it off, you have this little space right here. Okay, now you're gonna take your ruler and I'm gonna turn my paper so that it's just easier to measure. And I'm going to make a mark at every 2 inches. So I'm gonna go 2, and then the next one's at 4, 6, oh gosh, 8. Sometimes some of your rulers might not be very clear, but it doesn't have to be perfect either. And then I'm gonna do the same thing down here. I'm just gonna make some little marks. So at 2, 4, 6, I think that's 8 and 10. Up here, go ahead and write no cut zone. And then your name. And after you do that, you're gonna take your ruler and line up those notches, but don't go into the no cut zone. So I'm just gonna start from my line that I drew, my very first line, and connect it like that. And then I'm gonna do all the way across. So basically every 2 inches, like we measured, there's gonna be a line going down. And we're just weaving a tablecloth, so this does not have to be perfect because we're gonna put a plate on top of it. And once your paper looks like this, you're gonna get your scissors and you're gonna start cutting on that line while it's still folded. Your paper should still be folded in half. And I'm gonna take my scissors and I'm gonna cut all the way up until the no cut zone. I need to stop as soon as I get to this line. Okay, so that when I open it, I have an even amount of strips, but they're cuts that are in the middle, and these are gonna hold your 7 paper strips. So I can start, and you're just gonna weave, and the pattern is over, under, over, under, over, under. I know you guys probably know that already. So I'm gonna start over this first one, under the second one, over, under, over, under. And I'm kind of just gonna leave it for now loose. We'll glue it down. We'll glue these down once we have everything put in where we need it to be. So because I started over on this one, the first one, I have to start under now. Then I start over again. So it should make a checkerboard print. Okay, and then you have your tablecloth. And now to make sure that everything stays secure, I'm just gonna put a dot of glue anywhere where the paper can flap up like this. I'm not using a lot of glue because I want it to dry pretty quickly. So obviously the front where you don't see any writing is the front, but on the back is where you wrote your name and where you wrote the no cut zone. So if I flip it over, this is the back because it has my name, the no cut zone. And I'm gonna glue every little extra flap at the top and the bottom. For the fork, the knife, and the spoon, I've got gray paper right here, so it's kind of like silverware. And then I actually have tracers that you guys are gonna use, and you should be able to fit all of these on one piece of paper. So I'm tracing with a pencil, and I'm starting with my spoon all the way on the very side of the paper so that I can make sure I can fit everything, because we are gonna cut these out, so don't worry like if your spoon ends up being upside down to make everything fit better. It's not a big deal because we will cut these out. We're not gonna cut them out today though. We will cut these out a different day because I would hate for you to lose them. So make sure that your name is on this paper. I want to focus for this project on making things look realistic. So what we're gonna do is you're gonna get a Sharpie and obviously outline first. So for the spoon, you really just want to have like a curved line to show that it has like a dip in it. So there is that line right here. For the knife, just gonna add that shape. And then for the fork, I'm just gonna show a little bit of a dip right here. You could even add like a few lines going down on one side. Not too many because we are gonna add some highlights with a white gel pen. So I'm gonna take my white gel pen and kind of go with the curves. There's really no wrong or right way to do this. You're just gonna kind of add those highlights to make it look shiny. You can just do a straight line like this, or I want mine to be a little bit thicker, so I'm kind of just going over it again to make a thicker line. But I'm kind of just like going with the shape of the silverware. So like this black line right here is straight, so my white highlight is gonna be straight. But for example, this line right here on my spoon is curved, so my highlight is going to curve with the outside of the spoon. And stack it on top of your tablecloth like this and just set it to the side. The next thing we're gonna do is make our plate. So you have a circle tracer, you should have a white piece of paper. Tracing this, I'm just gonna go ahead and use a Sharpie around the edge. We are not cutting this paper out either today. the lid back on. And then you want to find the very center of your circle. So you can actually see through this paper, like I can see my circle through the back. So you want to fold your paper, and I can see my line. I'm gonna fold my paper, line it up, and fold it in half. And then I'm gonna open it back up and do the same thing. So kind of like our last project where we did the mandalas and we found the center. You should be able to find the center that way. So where those two lines meet, I'm gonna put a dot there. And we want to make sure that we are gonna add that kind of like that little flat piece around the edge of your plate that you usually see. So again, I line up that dot with my metal piece in the center, and there's no right or wrong size to do this, but I'm gonna do about this much around the edge, so about at 2.5, so 2.5, a little bit less than 2.5, I guess. And I'm gonna go all the way around to add that line. Plate, and I am just gonna take my marker and trace that part too. But I'm not cutting my plate out today either. I'm just gonna leave it. I'm gonna go ahead and erase that dot too. Okay, and make sure you write your name on this paper as well.